Hello, this is Nikki in Niagara coming to you from Niagara Falls, Canada. And today I have a huge book outlet haul for you. So, pause this, go get yourself a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, glass of wine, shot of scotch, whatever it is you like to drink when you relax. And come back and I will tell you all about the books I got. I got some horror. I got quite a few short story collections. I read a short story every day, so always needing more short story books. Then I got a lot of craft books. Got some crocheting and knitting and some journaling, artsy type books. Yeah, so that's what we've got here. And it'll be a hodgepodge of all those things. And now that you are ready with your drink at hand, let's get started and I'll show you what I got. So the first book that I got is The Devil You Know by Elizabeth de Mariafi. Now, I've never read her, but it says that she was longlisted for the Galore Prize. So that must mean she's Canadian because that is a Canadian award. Okay, so the back is full of advance praise for the book. I will, it's going to be difficult to show you the cover and read at the same time. Yeah, can't see my face while I read, so sorry. The year is 1993. Rookie reporter Evie Jones is working the crime beat in a city terrified by a serial rapist and a growing number of missing and murdered young girls. As she covers this story, Evie is haunted by the unsolved murder 11 years earlier of her own best friend, Leanne Gagnon. The suspected killer, a repeat offender named Robert Cameron, was never apprehended, turning Leanne's case cold. Now, 21 and living alone for the first time, Evie becomes driven to find out what really happened to Leanne. But every clue she uncovers seems to lead to an unimaginable conclusion. As she gets closer and closer to the truth, Evie is convinced that the killer is still at large and that he's coming back for her. So that one is a psychological thriller, one of my favorite types of books. And then next we have a short story collection by Mark Hayden. It's called The Pier Falls and Other Stories. Now, I've only read one book by Mark Hayden. That was The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Night, or something like that, which was really, really good. I'm not going to read you the blurbs about short story books because every story is about something different. Let's just see what the general statement is. From Mark Hayden, 9 dazzling stories, diverse in style, but united in emotional power. So, I'm quite looking forward to reading that one. And then next we have a knitting book. And this is one of the little Vogue Knitting on the Go. That's what the series is called. They're these little sized books. And this one is all knitted scarves. So actually that one on the front there is, I only took a brief look through this one. Yeah, there's all sorts of different scarves in here. Lace ones, Fair Isle, chevron, feather and fan, cable, stripes, using all sorts of different things. Most of them are quite easy. A few of them look a bit more time consuming. Those, yeah, they're knitted in squares. But yeah, the one on the front is my favorite that I can see so far in there. Okay, then next we have another short story collection. This is called Funny Once Stories by Antonia Nelson. Now, I've never heard of her, but she's the author of 10 fiction books. So, I love the front cover of this, of the library pocket. Okay, let's see. The unforgettable stories and funny once are clear-eyed, hard-edged, and perfectly formed, set in the wide, open spaces of Kansas, Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado. These characters wrestle with desires: to drink, to forget, to have sex with the wrong people. They navigate a landscape of ex-husbands, ex-stepmothers, grown children's ex-lovers. They are aging in an extended adolescence, regretting actions both taken and not. In funny once, flawed humanity is made exquisite. Those sound like really good stories. Then, the next one I got is another short story collection, and this is Blood and Other Cravings, and it's edited by Ellen Datlow. I have a lot of books edited by Ellen Datlow. She's a good editor. Let me get to the beginning of one of the stories in here. Yeah, so she always starts her stories with a brief little bio of the author, so that you know who you're reading. And I really appreciate that in an anthology where all the stories are written by a different person. So I call that, I don't know if I'm doing it properly, but if it's a collection of short stories written by a whole bunch of different people, I call it an anthology. Whereas if it's a bunch of short stories written by one author, I call it a collection of stories. So this one is about, I think, vampires. Ah, yes, here we are. I'll just read the top little blurb. Vampire tales. Tales of the undead who have the power to seduce the living and suck their blood. Have fascinated people for as long as humans have told stories, and in the last several decades have become a pop culture obsession. In this new collection of original stories, award-winning and masterful writers reach beyond blood-sucking creatures of the night to explore the darkness that drives people to act in vampiric ways. That sounds good. Okay, I have to get some more out of the box. Okay, now the next one is by T.C. Boyle, and I've read a few of his short stories. He often turns up in short story collections, so I thought I would try giving one of his own collections a try. This one is called Greasy Lake and Other Stories. So, let's see. Mythic and realistic, farcical and tragic. The Washington Post Book World says these masterful stories mark T. Corrigeson Boyle's development from a prodigy's audacity to something that packs even more of a wallop, mature artistry. They cover everything from a terrifying encounter between a bunch of suburban adolescents and a murderous drug-dealing biker, to a touching though doomed love affair between Eisenhower and Nina Khrushchev. Boyle is an absolute command, says the Detroit News, wholly at home and always funny. So he's a literary author. This is a short book too, so yeah, looking forward to trying a collection of him out. Then I got, we're doing all the short story collections first here. This one is called Bream Gives Me Hiccups and Other Stories by Jess Eisenberg. Now, I have not read this author. Okay. Known for his iconic film roles, but also for his regular pieces in The New Yorker and his critically acclaimed plays, Eisenberg is an emerging literary voice. And this is his fiction debut, and has already been named one of the essential books of the year by The Guardian. So that would be what year? 2015. Taking its title from a group of stories that begins the book, Bream Gives Me Hiccups moves from contemporary LA to the dorm rooms of an American college to ancient Pompeii, throwing the reader into a universe of social misfits, reimagined scenes from history, and ridiculous overreactions. Well, that sounds really good. Looking forward to that one. Okay, so continuing on with the short stories, we have The Safety of Objects, stories by A.M. Holmes. And this is a little book too. Again, another author that I haven't heard of. The breakthrough story collection that established A.M. Holmes as one of the most daring writers of her generation. Woo. Originally published in 1990 to wide acclaim, and later adapted to a film starring Glenn Close, Patricia Clarkson, and Kirsten Stewart, this extraordinary first collection of stories by A.M. Holmes confronts the real and the surreal on even terms to create a disturbing and sometimes hilarious vision of the American dream. So, I've never heard of the movie. I wonder if it's based on the title story, The Safety of Objects, or if these are some kind of intertwined stories. We'll see. Okay. Now another Vogue Knitting on the Go, and this time it is Scarves 2. And I like the one on the front. Let's see what else is in here. Stripes, lace, cables, fancy yarn. Okay, there's a strange sheep one, I guess, for children. Or zebra and lamb. Okay. I'm not going to take a look at every single one. Another feather and fan one. Or that's just a chevron pattern. Yeah, so there's a modular scarf as well. I wonder if this is by that Iris, what is her name? They don't tell you who wrote them? It does at the beginning. What's it called? It definitely looks like one of her scarves because I have her book. Oh no, it's not. Jacqueline Jewett. Yeah, there's a lady named Iris something or other who does modular knitting with the short rows. I have her book. It's really good. Okay, I'm going to get the next pile out here. Okay, the next thing's not actually a book. I got this, Cooking with Coke, and the reason I got it is because I like Coke stuff, and I really like this tin, and I figured it would come with some cards that I could alter, so it wouldn't be a, how does that open? Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's a flip back lid like that, and yeah, and then it has a bunch of cards like this, so they will be fun to alter. And then they have cardstock dividers at the back. So if you are a bookmaker or junk journaler, then you will know that I will have fun with those. Okay, then next we have some nonfiction. This is Corpses, Coffins, and Crypts, A History of Burial by Penny Coleman. Now, this topic is one of my favorite to read about. What happens to our bodies when we die? How do different cultures bury their dead? What do various gravestone carvings mean? These questions and many more are explored in this fascinating book. I won't read anymore. That was going to be an easy read. It's got pictures, short chapters, death in the arts. I'm looking forward to that one, that's for sure. Just a minute, I need to have a drink. I am drinking porter out of a red wine glass. Okay, next one is Esther Stories by Peter Orner. And the foreword is by Marilyn Robinson. I've read her books. She's a very good literary author, but I have not heard of this author. In his first book, one of the most acclaimed and original story collections of the last decade, Peter Orner explores the brief but far-reaching occasions that haunt us. The discovery of a murdered man in a bathtub by the side of the road, the destruction of a town's historic city hall building, and the recollection of a cruel wartime decision are equally affecting under Orner's vivid and intimate gaze. I won't read anymore. So yeah, I have some really good short story collections. Okay, then the next thing I got is 2 books from Kelly Armstrong's Kingsville novels. Now, I read the first book from this series. I don't know what 2 numbers these are. So I think these are like thrillers. And are they the yeah ones? Okay, this one sounds like it might be the second one. After taking refuge in the old, secluded town of Kingsville, Olivia Taylor-Jones, daughter of notorious serial killers, finds a dead woman in her car dressed to look like Olivia. Only the body vanishes before anyone else sees it. Olivia is convinced it's an omen, a sign of impending danger, and so on. Yeah, so these are about the daughter of a serial killer couple. Okay, then next is this this one's short stories. It's called Edith Perlman Stories, Honeydew. Over the past several decades, Edith Perlman has staked her claim as one of the all-time great practitioners of the short story. Her inimitable voice, consummate skill, and big-hearted spirit have earned her consistent comparisons to Chekhov, Updike, Alice Munro, Grace Paley, and Frank O'Connor. Her latest work, gathered in this stunning collection of 20 new stories, is an occasion for celebration. Perlman writes with warmth about the predicaments of being human. It's another literary book. And finally, I got I believe they're the first 2 books in the Killer Instinct series. This is Killer Instinct. Oh, this is Killer Instinct. And this is Killer Within. So, let's read the... Yeah, it says right here, the story continues in this one. So this one is the first. This is the first and second. There's another one out. Lane is a typical teenager, loving family, good grades, after-school job at local animal hospital, martial arts enthusiast, but her secret obsession is studying serial killers. She understands them, knows what makes them tick. I know that's why I picked this, because that sounds like me. Why? because she might be one herself. Okay, that doesn't sound like me. I know I'm not a serial killer. Lane channels her dark impulses by hunting criminals, delivering justice when the law fails. The vigilantism stops shy of murder, but with each visceral rush, the line of self-control blurs. And then a young preschool teacher goes missing, only to return in parts. Ooh, that sounds good. I think these are yeah. Okay, now I need to grab another stack. So these are all the big books. So if you're here for the fiction, I pretty much guarantee we're done them. The rest of them are going to be some kind of craft books. So I got ABC Crochet, an alphabet collection of amigurumi animals by Mitsuki Hoshi. And the thing I like about this is that the very beginning of it is like a children's alphabet book. C is for chicken. D is for duck. E is for elephant. So then it goes through the whole alphabet from A to Z. And what is Z? A zebra? No! Z is for zoo. And there's a picture of some of the animals we can do in here. And there's a picture of some more. I've done amigurumi. I made some, basically some teddy bears is what I made. I got into making them and just made a whole bunch of them. I'm kind of like that. I find something I enjoy doing and then I just do it obsessively over and over again, making the same thing. But yeah, this should be fun. And there's a walrus, jellyfish. Yeah, so yeah, looking forward to that. Doing something with that. Then I got another amigurumi book. This one is called Crochet Wakamono. And I just absolutely love these monsters. Whether they're crocheted, knitted, or sewn, I think they are amazing. I especially love these ones here with the felt faces. And I wonder if there's a picture of everything. Let's take a look at the beginning. Well, there is a picture, but they're all hand-drawn images of what we've got in here. So let's look at a few, shall we? Oh, I see what they do. They show you a big picture of everybody gathered together. So, we got that one. That's the one we looked at already. And then, I don't know if I can put it up closer for you. Fingers are in the way. But yeah, there's some cool ones in there. So then the next section will be the patterns for all of those. And then look at the octopus. I love that. This will be fun. Yeah, they're amigurumi. Okay, now the next one is something that I've been wanting to do for quite a long time. It was a thing at one point, and everybody was doing it. 2012 is when the book was written, so that must have been when it was the thing, is bead crochet jewelry. Now this is not using the wire. I do not want to crochet with wire, but this is using crochet cotton and adding the beads to it and crocheting jewelry. So what I thought is that these would make excellent dangles and charms and doodads for my journals that I make. And then the next one is Knitted Megumi Sea Creatures. And I don't think technically we can call knitting amigurumi, because amigurumi is a Japanese word which means something. And we don't have to preface it by saying crocheted amigurumi. We just know it is. Well, these are weird. They're really weird. I don't know what I'm going to think of this. But those are the animals that we get. Starfish looks doable. And that deep sea fish there. The other ones I'm not too sure about. So this is more like a leaflet, little booklet leaflet, than a whole book. Okay, then I got this journaling book. It's called Journal It, Perspectives in Creative Journaling Techniques from 19 Artists. This is by Jenny Doe. I have a couple of her doodling books, so I thought I would pick this up, and I like it. It's like some of the other mixed media books I have. It just showcases an artist. Like here we have Sarah Atwater Bourne, and it shows her work. And then it gives a technique. Takes you through it with each one. And then it shows you some examples from their work. I don't know how much you guys are able to see of this, but yeah. So it goes through and it does that with 19 different artists. It's a really good book to look through, get ideas, that sort of thing. Okay, now my absolute favorite thing to knit are shawls or wraps or capes or what was I going to say? Shrug? Did I say shrug? Okay, yeah, that kind of thing. More than the scarf. So I got Vogue Knitting's Shawls and Wraps book 2. And I just know that this is going to be gorgeous because Vogue Knitting just absolutely has fantastic patterns in it. They're not easy. It says different sections, and it tells, they give you a ranking of how easy or hard it is. Like this is a 4, which I think is their hardest. That's really nice. So yeah, it's just full of shawls and wraps. Wow. Well, that's a fancy one. I don't know whether I would wear that. Oh, these are all intarsia. It's a whole intarsia section. Oh, it's a Fair Isle one. Oh, that's nice. I really like that. Okay. Sorry, I'll look at it later. Then I decided to pick this up because I do want to do some stuff with jewelry, and I just cannot figure it out. I thought maybe a book would help me, and I've always wanted to do soldering. So this is Simple Soldered Jewelry and Accessories, and it takes you through all the basics of how to solder and how to bead, which is really important for me. Like, you know, how to do the jump rings and, you know, all that kind of stuff, because I am no good at that. Alright, so now I'm going to reach in and pick up my last pile here. Okay, so we got another Shawls and Shrugs book. This one is 1+1 Scarves, Shawls, and Shrugs. And look at the back. I just absolutely love this one. Oh yeah, I really. Oh, this is Irish Schreier, author of Modular Knits. I have that. Reversible knits. Oh, I wouldn't mind that. And little lacy knits. Oh no, that one's nice and simple. There it is. Oh, I love that. I'm definitely making that one. That is so unusual and nice. Infinity scarves, cowls. I don't like those. Oh, that one is nice too. And again, very simple. Cool. Can't wait to look at that one more. Okay, then I got a couple of Mark Kistler Draw Squad books. When my kids were little, we had this book, and we actually had several of his books. We had his just his original Draw Squad one. Where's the other one? Yeah, okay, that's it too. So yeah, this is the one we had. This one we did not have. But Mark Kistler is an amazing drawing teacher. He teaches you how to draw, basically building constructions when you get further into the book. Let's see. Where are we? There we are. It's like how to put these great big cities and building blocks together. But he shows you how to make your drawings 3D rather than drawing flat. And his instructions are really easy to follow too. He actually shows you what to do each step, and you can tell what you're supposed to erase as well. So this is awesome. I can't wait to dive into that. I've done his style before, like I said, with my kids when they were little. We did that. And this is his original book, Draw Squad, which was named after a TV show which I never saw in my life. Now, is this the one that starts off with just a pencil or a cube or something like that? Okay, so he tells you all about everything you need to know. Yeah, so he starts off right at the very beginning with the foreshortened circle. How to turn it into a birthday cake. Then he does the cube in step number 2. How to draw a cube so that it's realistic, and then he turns it into a TV. And so on, and it goes on and on and on until we are drawing amazing things. That's quite detailed by the end. So yeah, I want to go through those. One thing, I haven't started yet, but one of the things I want to do this year in 2018 is get started with learning how to draw. Okay, and then I got another journaling book. This is called Journal Your Way, Designing and Using Handmade Books. Oh, wow, cool. It has a, okay, so here's the book. But the first page, the inside cover is a pocket with something inside. And the back is like that too. So, what does this book do? Oh, it tells you how to make all sorts of different types of books. And what to use them for. Oh, it's amazing. I mean, it's not anything that you can't find on YouTube, But I like sitting down with a book and just so that I can go straight through it. So here's chapter 4 is book binding, and it starts with the pamphlet stitch, which we all know, and goes on to, what's the last one? Round style Australian reversed piano hinge. Oh my goodness. Oh. What's the last one called? Accordion sewn on tape. So I can just ask. Okay. This book looks really awesome. Even though I know how to do some of the binding techniques in here, you get into a rut where you always use the same binding over and over and over and over again. I use the pamphlet stitch and then sew them onto the binding. I also know how to do the Coptic stitch, and I used to do that a lot, but I haven't done it much. What I really want to start doing now is the kettle stitch. That's where you can sew in single signatures of one piece of paper. One, and you just do them. Takes a while, but it's not that hard once you get a hang of it. So yeah, I love that. That looks really good. And then I picked up a couple of fun books. I got the Peterson Field Guide coloring book for reptiles and amphibians. So these are cute books. There's a whole series of them. And it's like an information. It's like an information book. The text and then the animal, and it's just like that all the way through. And you color them, but it has pages of stickers at the front, which you stick on. Oh my goodness. There's 188 different reptiles and amphibians in here. So there they are. So then it teaches you how you can color the animal the proper colors that it's supposed to be. But of course, you can do them pink and purple if you want. Nobody's going to stop you. Okay, now, the next one is a scrapbooking book. Yeah. I have this already. Or, you know what? I don't. This is not the exact... No, it's not. Okay, so this is one of the Simple as 1, 2, 3 series of scrapbook pads. It's got a whole bunch of 12 by 12 paper in it. This one's called Girly Girl. I have one. Oh, it's way over there. I have one that is like almost the same as this. It must have been from the same series, but the pages are totally different. They're the same colors. We have vibrant greens and pinks and purples and pinks and lime green and pink and orange and yellow, purple. You know, it's all bright girly girl colors. And they're pretty fancy pages. Some of them are like specifically made for scrapbooking layouts. But if you're a junk journaler, you can use those spaces to journal in, or to you can scrapbook, but instead of putting a photograph there, you can put a piece of ephemera in there. So, and the backs of all the pages are patterned differently. Each page is different. I don't think it repeats. And then at the beginning of the book, we have die cuts. Oh, I'm trying to show you without having them fall out. So we have die cuts. Those look like, they're vellum stickers. More die cut stickers. I got some 3D stickers there, an alphabet, and here we have die cuts. So, yeah, like it's a whole kit. It says, Scrapbook Kit includes pre-designed pages, alphabet, vellum, dimensional stickers, 600 plus pieces. Oh, yeah. it didn't cost very much. So the reason I got this whole haul was that they had a sale on, and it was spend so much and save so much. And of course, I had to go with the save the most, which meant I spent the most, but it all works out in the end. So I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this because I might have it wrong, but I'm pretty sure the deal I got was get $40 off when you spend $100. So, yes, I got like, well, $100 would cost me 60. So this is an awful lot of free stuff you're getting. So I got a few books there that I paid a bit more for than I usually do when I'm shopping on book outlets. I always go for the lower end prices or the scratch and dent price, but I did go for some books that were $10 or and maybe just, I think there was one that was 12 something. So yeah, so that's my haul from Book Outlet, and I order from there pretty regularly. So if you want to see what my next Book Outlet haul is, or just a book haul, I have another video coming up soon which will be showing all the books that I got in December and January, not including the Book Outlet ones. They get their own video. So if you want to not miss out on all that stuff, make sure you subscribe down below, and you will know when I have my next book haul up. And if you did make it this far, please give me a thumbs up, and leave me a comment. I just absolutely love getting comments, so leave me one and we'll chat. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye!